Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We're just waiting for a few people to finish filtering in. We have about 185 participants currently. So just give me 1 second as we watch that number steady off here in a moment. All right, holding tight around getting close to the 200 level. So let me thank everybody for signing in today. And these town halls have become a thing of our tradition here on campus, just to open up dialogue with the campus for any questions and announcements that might be relevant to the start of the new semester. You'll recall we started these back in COVID times when we were having 2 and sometimes 3 such sessions throughout the semester. And we found them to be such a useful way to get feedback and also to broadcast decisions or policies or answers to your questions that we continued them. And we'll continue doing them just because they're valuable. Let me thank everybody who participated in last week's State of the University address. There, I shared a number of great stories and upcoming opportunities that we have as a campus. And after we had about, I'd say 350 present, and I've heard, oh gosh, was it another 400 or 500 people online? I forget the exact numbers, but all in all, there were close to 800, 850 that had participated from what I had heard. And then at the picnic afterwards, the rain in the morning didn't slow us down. We had a great turnout. The plate count from Karen from catering was that she brought 1,000 plates and left with 125. So our rough count was 875 people came through, unless those people accidentally took 2 plates instead of 1. But it was a great turnout and just a wonderful way to come together as a campus, to continue building connections and to celebrate the vibrancy here at the University of North Dakota and what we're doing for our students and how we're supporting one another as well. And so today's virtual town hall is intended to continue that spirit of coming together. But what we didn't have in the State of the University address was Q&A. So today, of course, we're going to try to get to questions that you've asked already, and then your real-time questions as well. So you'll use the Q&A function here in a minute. But there's incredible momentum on the campus, and I chose the word of the year to be momentum, just because of all the efforts that all of you across the campus are making to make our campus so great for to attract students and new colleagues to UND. And so keep up that great work. Look for ways to continue building momentum, to strive for the great vision that we've set forward in our UND LEADS Strategic Plan. And people outside of the university are seeing it. We're hearing about it all the time. And most importantly, as an indicator of the quality of our programs and satisfying all the requirements for existing as an institution of higher ed, we had an amazing visit from our Higher Learning Commission peer review team for reaffirmation of accreditation. So the peer review team had extraordinarily positive things to say during their outbrief, and that was borne out in their final report. So we got a full 10-year reaccreditation with no findings, and just a lot of positive feedback from the team. One thing I wanted to highlight, I mentioned this in the State of the University, is students are choosing the University of North Dakota. You've created an environment on our campus that is really setting us apart. And let me give you some numbers. They're hot off the press. Our day 1 numbers, and this comes from our Vice Provost, Janelle Kilgore. Our day 1 overall enrollment is a 6% increase. That's right, 6% increase over last year. And so the first day we have 14,724. We'll keep adding over the next two or 3 weeks as we head into the census, the official totals. But that's a really great number. And it's a function of the environment we've created, both the human environment, the physical environment, the great academic programs. So keep up your extraordinary work. And then our first-time full-time students, again, first-time full-time students, is now sitting at 2,173, which is the highest level we've had since 2011. Again, the number of people who are seeing the value in the work that we're doing here is absolutely incredible. So with that, there are opportunities and challenges on campus this week. We have our search beginning for, or the finalists for our Vice President for Health Affairs and the Dean of the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. That's underway. And then, of course, lots of conversations, of course, about parking. I should have mentioned it first because I know it's on everybody's mind. But as we talk about this enrollment increase, there's going to be some bursting at the seams impacts and things that we need to do to make adjustments on the fly. And I just ask that everybody offer one another a sense of grace, a sense of kind of dignity and respect. Know that great minds from across the campus are working on solutions to any number of issues that we're facing, whether it was housing or parking, or how do we staff all of our courses for the fall semester, and just keep that spirit of cooperation and understanding alive. I know that I've received a couple notes from students about parking in particular. And what I've shared with them is, listen, we have a great parking team who has thought long and hard about this influx of new students. They've designed a great system, and it's had my blessing about how to realign and reapportion parking spots to make sure that we can handle our students, our faculty, and our staff members. And what happens when you redesign a system is there are unintended consequences. We have to monitor those changes and see what's playing out within the parking lots of our campus to make sure that we're broadcasting information about the new remote lot and shuttle service over by Jimmy John's. There's just a whole number of dimensions to this that's going to require your patience. And just know we have amazing people, thoughtful, caring people who are making great judgments about how to modify that particular system, the parking system. And when we see things and monitor things and we get your feedback, it helps us make a decision about what fine tunes do we have to make or what adjustments do we need to make. So as you ask questions in particular about parking, because that seems to be the source of, always on college campuses, the source of much anxiety, just please know there are great human beings, wonderful human beings that deserve, and I expect you to give your full kindness and attention to the way that you engage them. So please do so with respect and a sense of understanding. We'll make sure that you get a good parking system and that all of our systems across campus are operating to the best of their ability, given the expansion and the size of our class. So with that, thank you for listening. That's my plea to you to treat each other with kindness. Let me turn it over to our host for today's event, who will guide the flow of questions from one person to the next, Vice President for Marketing and Communications, Melanie Linder. Vice President Linder, great to see you. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, President Armacost. And a reminder to everyone that's viewing online, we have a few pre-submitted questions that came in from our University Senate. So I'm going to hit those first while allowing you some time to put in your questions into the Q&As. So to kick us off, President Armacost, you talked about there's just so much great things happening at the university right now. One of the questions that I received was if we could get an update on our athletic buildings. So the first question I'm going to send over to our athletic director, Bill Chaves. Bill, can you give us an update?
Well, thank you, Vice President Linder. My name is Bill Chaves. I'm the athletic director. Yeah, it's been very, very exciting times for sure. So we just, as an administrative team, moved across the street to the Hislop at Memorial Village 1. And so the actual building in the first floor is all the athletics administration. There's coaches that were at the Hislop moved across the street. And then, as you might know, up above are our market rate apartments. And so those opened up on May 1st, but we actually moved over here about a month ago. So I would say we're about 80% of the way finished here, certainly incredibly functional, but there's just a lot of branding and some of the other things that still need to take place. But it's been an exciting time for sure. Our couple of other things that are going on as well, our Albrecht softball field is scheduled to be it is actually very usable right now and playable, but we are going to have our grand opening on September 21st at 6 o'clock, 6-ish, somewhere in that range. We have a home football game that day at 1 o'clock. So at around 5 or 6, we're going to invite the public to come out and see Albrecht Field for the first time officially. That's exciting. And then we also have our addition to the Pollard Athletic Center. And we are excited about the Nodak Insurance Company Sports Performance Center. That is slated to be done approximately January of 25. So those are the big things that are occurring on this side of Columbia, and it's been extremely exciting.
Oh, all right, thank you so much, Bill. For some reason, my video is not coming back on. One second. I'm going to turn the next question over to our Associate Vice President for Human Resources, Peggy Varberg. Peggy, can you give us an update on the Huron study?
Sorry, I'm having problems with my camera for some reason, but Vice President Linder, I'm happy to do that. Maybe at some point it will come on. Not sure. Well, anyway, oh, there we go. So we have been deep in the weeds in analysis and the work of building a new job architecture. We worked with Huron, with our consulting team, through into the early part of June, and we finished the work with them. And then we continued on in the deep weeds, working with our area HR managers to build the new staff job architecture. This work is done. We've mapped new positions. We've taken a lot of similar or like positions and have been able to consolidate positions, not people, but the positions, so that more of the positions are equitably treated. So account techs, program managers, research assistants, administrative assistants, they're treated, those positions that are very similar or like in the work are treated the same across campus. And so we've done that, and we've built pathways. So it's been a lot of coordination, a lot of work, a lot of conversations. We've taken the time to really understand 1,700 plus position descriptions. That's how many staff that we had when we started this process, and we've added some to that as well. So the next step is for us now to start meeting with leadership. And so the week of the September 9th, we'll start meeting individually with the area vice presidents to talk and discuss, talk with them and discuss about what we've done in their area, what it looks like, what changes may have occurred, answer any questions they have about the new architecture. And then once we're finished with them, we'll move on to the next group: deans, AVPs, vice provosts, department heads, what have you. So we're excited. We're excited about this work. We're excited about building a new compensation hub so that we can put micro-learning videos on there for help people understand what we've done, what the new architecture looks like, what the new processes look like. We'll be holding open door meetings as well once we've walked through all the initial education stages, which will have supervisor training, those kinds of things. And new markets will become available now. Folks will see that they may be in a new market. The market may look different than what they've been in before. It may be require an increase for some folks. It may require no increase for some folks. And for some folks, the market, as always, markets move up and down. And so sometimes markets move down, but we never take money away, right? So we stay true to the current salary that they're at, and we work with that. So where increases need to be made, these will not be overnight processes. So the steps that we need to move forward will be a 3-year process likely. And we're going to work with leaders in each of the areas to build out what that looks like with them. The increases that we need to give, we have unique funding at UND between appropriated and grants and contracts. And so we don't just have money available at any given time. We have some areas that may be able to make some differences right away, and some will take a little bit of time to build that the appropriate funding increases. And the work that we did, if you remember, this was a 2-3 phase process. And the very first work we did was that equity analysis for protected classes. As President Armacost and I shared in a video message to the campus in April, UND is in a really good shape. And so we're really pleased to see that. We chose to make 2 small salary increases in one college because of what the equity analysis looked like. So after working with the college, doing a lot of deep dive into why these salaries may look different than they should, we made some salary increases for 2 individuals, and they were effective January 1st. So we retroed their payback to January 1st. The other area that Huron identified was our postdoc salaries. And there was really no equity issues in there, but they said, they shared with us that we needed to look at identifiable compensable factors. And sometimes it's really a little bit of a challenge to figure out why a salary may be assigned to a postdoc because there was no compensable factors in some cases. So Jennifer Moe, our compensation manager, has been working with the Vice President for Research and Economic Development, their area, and other deans to develop a basic process for postdoc salary assignment. And so that work should be, it's ongoing, it should be completed this fall. So we're excited about the work. It's been a lot of work. There have been a lot of people that have helped us along the way. It's been a long process. And we thank all those that have helped and collaborated with us, and we do thank the campus for their patience as well. So lots more information to come, but this is where we are for now.
Peggy, thank you for that. We have one more question that's related to the Huron study, and that is the question of, can we get assurance that people will not be fired or laid off due to the results of the Huron study?
Yeah, we've said that from the beginning of our project with Huron, or beginning of the study, is we would not rift positions or people, and we would not take money away. So job bands may change, markets may change, titles may change, but people will not lose their job or lose their current salary because of the work that's being done with the job architecture.
Excellent, thank you. The next question I'm going to turn over to Vice President Majan Stewart, and you may also, Mark Johnson, and that is regarding, is there a plan on adding additional custodial support to the buildings?
Thank you, Melanie. I thank you for sharing this question for me early, so I was able to do some research on this. As most of you are aware, we have had a significant difficulty in filling our custodial positions, and that is continuing to occur. We currently have 25 full-time BST positions open and 1 part-time position open. And so about 6 months ago, recognizing that we can't rely on just filling all the positions that we needed to think smarter about how we were going to address this in the future. We ordered some autonomous equipment that is becoming more and more common, and we have been testing all of that out this summer. I am hearing back from the BST leadership that they've been very happy with the quality and the quantity of work that this equipment is, able to handle. And so they have a couple more weeks of testing that they want to do. And the primary concern is that the two pieces of equipment are different vendors, and so we want to make sure that everything can be programmed and maintained within UND. And once we've get that all finalized, we would look at purchasing additional autonomous equipment so that the staff that we do have, we can convert into doing things that cannot be handled through autonomous cleaning systems. So we are well aware and understand the impact that this is having on all of you, and we are continually looking at ways that we can rely less on staff and make improvements in the cleaning. And I am certainly happy to provide maybe even quarterly updates on this to the campus community so that everyone is aware of what's going on, and then you don't have to wait to ask the question. So that's certainly something I can commit to today.
Excellent, thank you so much. The next question I'm going to send over to President Armacost. President Armacost, in light of the upcoming legislative session this spring, what will UND be doing to fulfill our UND LEADS Strategic Plan's aspiration to ensure that all members of our UND community feel welcome, including members of our community who may be of different races, ethnicities, religions, sexual orientations, and gender identities, as well as all of their allies?
Thank you for that great question. Certainly with any legislative session, there's uncertainty about what the session will bring forward in terms of bill drafts. I and the entire leadership team at UND will continue our efforts to reaffirm and to engage in outreach with all people on our campus, whether it's specific affinity groups or individuals or just groups of people that we come into regular contact with, to reaffirm the value that they bring and the dignity and respect that each person deserves. In addition to the categories that you talk about, we also have to be mindful of another element of North Dakota state law that falls into the category of non-discrimination, and that's making sure that regardless of one's political perspectives, whether one is liberal, progressive, or conservative, or Republican, and we need to make sure that we honor the beliefs and the understanding and the backgrounds of everybody on our campus. We will do that through our act and our deeds on the campus. During the legislative session, I need to highlight many of the activities that we have on our campus that support the well-being and the affinity and the connection and the very sense of belonging that we try to create in everybody who comes to our campus. And regardless of what legislation proposal what comes forward, we of course have to comply with law. But I will speak, I'm sure, quite publicly about the value that I see in the programs that we offer on campus and the way that I think the University of North Dakota treats everybody who comes here with a sense of dignity and respect. That's our students, that's our faculty, that's our staff, that's visitors who come to our campus, to make sure that UND is known for that acceptance and that welcoming environment. And then in addition, there's a question there too about I think there was a follow-on question, probably from the same questioner, about healthcare services for the members of our community, including the trans community and students who need reproductive health care. And I think let me call back to Peggy Varberg, our HR, who can talk about healthcare plans and what's provided to at least our staff members and our faculty members. But we do have a common plan that has certain provisions. It's the plan that we all get. But I think individuals can also opt individually to add additional healthcare there. So Peggy, over to you.
Yes, thank you, President Armacost. One thing to remember is not a cop-out. Please don't come after me on this. But one thing to remember is that UND has a little bit of control, very small, or actually the NUS system has small control over what healthcare plans we have to provide to our staff and faculty. That's really managed by NDPERS, North Dakota Personnel, because we are in the same plans as every state employee, which we are. We do have a voice and we speak loudly to the NDPERS board and specifically about some of the disparities that we've seen and feel within some of these plans. There are options if you choose one of the different HSA plans. There are some options for reproductive care and so forth that aren't necessarily offered in our main plan. So please feel free to reach out to our benefits team to ask about the differences between those plans, to make sure that in those cases you are understanding all the opportunities that we do have. But please feel rest assured that we UND, VISA, the Human Resource Council, and the NDPERS board, we are speaking about these things and the disparities that we do feel like we see.
And VP Linder, let me just go back to the original question too. What my plan is to convey to the legislature and to the public in general is that on our campus, the programs that we offer are not intended, nor do they create a sense of division, that everything we're offering is intended to recognize the many backgrounds of people, to celebrate cultures and ideas but also to make those celebrations and those discussions available to everybody on our campus. And I think that's one of the key elements of what UND does so well is pulling people together to understand each other, to understand each other's backgrounds, and to make our campus a more unified and whole place. So thank you.
Thank you to President Armacost and Peggy Varberg. Next, I'm going to turn it over to our interim associate vice president for facilities, Mark Johnson. Mark, there's so much excitement about Merrifield's renovation. Can you give us an update on that?
Yes, thank you, Vice President Linder. And I apologize, I have a cold, so I've got a bit of a bad voice. Yes, as I'm sure everybody's noticed, it's taking shape, but there's still definitely a lot of construction around the building itself. Due to unfortunate situations with a very wet spring and early summer, it caused some delays in the construction, and it was determined at that time to delay the opening of the building. We wanted to make sure that there was no shortcuts taken in the construction. We wanted to make sure we had a very well constructed building as an end product. So it was decided at that point, administration agreed that we should postpone until the semester, spring semester of 2025. So technically people will be moving in. We're looking at over Christmas break, the winter break, of actually getting people moved in, and everything should be up and running right after the first of the year. That will allow a very, very good transition. So that should do it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. The next question, I'm going to turn it back over to our Associate Vice President for HR, Peggy Varberg, but then we'll welcome others to chime in. Because of the parking situation, are we getting an increased request for people to work either hybrid or fully remote?
That's a great question. Thank you. I know that Vice President Stewart did answer it in the chat, but it is something that we're getting questions on. It is something that can definitely be considered by area. As with any consideration for a hybrid or remote, the position has to be one that can be done hybrid or remote. So there still are positions on campus that cannot be done, that because of the audience and the customers that they serve, they really must be on campus. But that's a great opportunity to have those discussions within your areas and consider that for sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Peggy. A follow-up to the Huron question came up. So Peggy, I'm going to turn this one back over to you. The question is September 9th a concrete date for university leadership to get information back on the study? And then when can faculty and staff expect to receive more information? Will it be by the end of the calendar year? Will it be, they're just wondering about a date for expectations on that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. The September 9th, the week of September 9th is when we have begun scheduling individual meetings with the vice presidents. And as soon as we've answered all those questions that they may have and so forth, we'll move on to the deans, to the AVPs, the vice provost, division heads, so forth, department heads. And then we will start working with the employees. And yes, this information will be out and available before the end, I would say middle fall, later September, early October. We want those that have budgetary responsibilities to see the new markets that we're using now. And so that they have those as they think about the next couple of years, what they might need to do with regard to increases that any employee may have due to their market changes. So we want them to be able to thoughtfully consider that. And as I mentioned, we are always welcome. You're always welcome to come and talk to the comp team anytime. If you have questions about your individual compensation and how we got to it, always happy. We will be again having those open door meetings. And then we will have trainings and micro learnings as well. That'll be available.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Next question is going to go to Vice President Majan Stewart. I'm going to try to summarize because it's a long question. Vice President Stewart, can you tell us a little bit about the difference between I guess it's the reserved parking spots versus the general administrative parking lots. There's been some changes this year, and there are some questions about being the price differential between the two, kind of the haves, the have-nots in the question. Can you address that for the crowd?
Oops. Yes, hold on, I'm just trying to get my camera on. There we go. Can you see me? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. First of all, I will just briefly try to address parking holistically, because I hope it will then answer maybe some additional questions that many folks around campus are having about parking, and to just expand a little bit on what Dr. Armacost said at the beginning of the meeting. So as we all know, parking on campus is not at all what it has been in the past, and that is due in large part to some really positive things that are happening on campus that we all should be very proud of. And you know, one is our amazing growth and how much our communities and our students want to come to UND. So that is definitely playing a role, and in particular with our, as Dr. Armacost mentioned, our freshman class having a significant increase. The number of cars parking on campus for our students 24 hours is significantly more than what we have seen since 2011. And as a result, we are having to move people around, and this has been impacting faculty, staff, and students in all of our lots. We, through a lot of feedback from faculty and staff and others, there was a request to increase the number of reserved spots for this year only to help faculty, and again, it was a faculty request, but it's open to anyone, if they could get a reserved spot because they are coming and going from campus frequently, or they had concerns about, you know, if I don't get there at 8 o'clock, where will I be able to park, and how will I be able to address that? And so in trying to meet the needs, and again, I want to clarify, it is not an ideal situation, and there was absolutely no intent on our part to create a situation where people were feeling that we were trying to create an unbalanced or unfair system. Again, we were trying to respond to requests about what are we going to do if we are coming and going from campus and we don't have a place to park. So reserved parking was expanded for this year. And again, that was specifically in reaction to multiple concerns and questions from deans and faculty about where were they going to park when they are not on campus at 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, not at all intending to create that system of have and have nots. And I fully acknowledge it is not an ideal situation. We are trying our very best to accommodate our students, our staff, and our faculty. And as you can imagine, that is very difficult, facing the situation we are in. But the other reason we are short of parking is because of the growth of campus facilities and what we are offering our students. You know, we lost a parking lot to the east of the parking ramp because we have a beautiful new softball complex that will be opening here shortly. And we also, you know, as you all can see, there is a commercial enterprise building a building in that space, which will house our new bookstore, and will have apartments not affiliated with the university, of course, but within walking distance, which we hope is a great benefit to not only our faculty and staff, but our students. And so that is another reason why our parking has been really challenging. one thing I want to stress, because I just want everyone to fully recognize we went through 100 scenarios and none of them were perfect, and there's always winners and losers whenever we have to make changes. And I just want to acknowledge that I am fully aware of that. Students are struggling as well, wanting to understand where they're supposed to park, and we are trying to balance that with the needs of our faculty and staff. And not ideal, but we are really doing the best we can to try to ensure that is not negatively impacting or doesn't overshadow all the amazing, wonderful things that are going on in our campus. And so one thing I really want to stress, we have a shuttle service that we are offering this year, first time, that if people want to park up at the REA, it's what we kind of call the Jimmy John's lot. We will be offering shuttle service from 7:30 in the morning until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday at that lot, which should provide significant release for students, staff, and faculty. And if we see that lot is being utilized, we will offer more shuttle service so that we could even go continually, because there is plenty of parking in that lot, though we fully recognize it is not a great walking distance lot. But if that's something people want to consider, we will do everything we can to make sure that is a safe, fast option for people. And if we get feedback of, oh, we need a shuttle on this side of campus or that side of campus, we will do everything in our power to do the best we can for parking, not only for faculty and staff, but for our students as well. And fully recognize that this is a very unique situation and it's not ideal.
Great. Thanks, Vice President Stewart. Hey, there's technical difficulties have gotten the best of our host, Melanie Linder. So I'm going to pick up where she left off. There's a whole slew of parking related questions. And I'm just going to highlight those. And there's one in particular I think we should answer. And then the rest, I think Carla had just talked about an online site. And if she didn't mention it, she will when she comes back on with your parking questions. So we want to continuously get your feedback about parking, and that will be monitored. And the parking committee will take a close look at all the suggestions that come in or the observations that you're making about any inconveniences that you have. But here are some of the questions. Did the ramp permits change? I tried to purchase one and was waitlisted. Have you considered not allowing freshmen to park on campus? Other universities do this. Can faculty and staff expect their parking costs to decrease to match the amount that students pay to park in the same lots? Now, we haven't done that in the past, so I don't know if that's a consideration here. Other universities manage on-campus parking volume by limiting student vehicles on campus. And even freshmen and sophomores are not allowed to have cars on campus. Is this a consideration? Of course, we could say, yeah, it could be, but the disadvantage is many of our freshmen have work obligations in town and they need a way to get to and from campus, and they're living on the campus. So these are all great questions that our parking committee and our parking office will certainly take into consideration. There's one. Is there any plan to add parking west or north of the new dorms? And there is. There's a big sign out front just west of McVeigh and West that says parking lot coming here in the summer of 2025. So that one is there as well. I know somebody commented about a misleading answer. The enrollment's not the highest ever. What about the new buildings on the eastern part of the campus? Who do they belong to? Why are they built on the campus? They're actually adjacent to the campus. That's not UND property. And who is the beneficiary? And that's a great question. We can share more on that, but right now it's the majority of the people there are students. They have their own lot in front of the building. But the construction of those buildings, particularly the bigger of the two and the softball field, certainly take away from the parking lot that was there before. There's a long-term parking study that's ongoing, and I know that the Executive Council will get briefed on this probably in the next few weeks about the results of that parking study and what the long-term future of parking is. But the long-term future begins with the expansion of parking capacity on the western part of campus related to those who are living in on-campus residence halls. So as far as parking, I'm going to cease and desist there and move on to some other topics, and time permitting, maybe we'll get back to some of these issues. But if Vice President Stewart can come on really quickly and remind us of the website that you can use to actually put your observations, put your ideas, and so forth in. So Vice President Stewart.
Sure. If you go to the parking website, you can email anytime at parking@und.edu. But we also have a button that we just added to the site that has that says suggestion box. Again, if we feel like, you know, we've gone around and around, but there's always people that can look at things from a different perspective when you're not so ingrained in it. So if you have suggestions that are things that we can implement for the current year, we welcome those suggestions, and those are on the website. I want to highlight something else that President Armacost said. Many of the particularly freshmen and residential student parking concerns that that we have been addressing will go away. This will be a one-year issue for this current year because of the parking lot that will be built to the west of McVeigh Hall as soon as the ground thaws this spring, and it will be open for use next fall. And so that will create 500 additional parking spots that we will be able to relocate residential students to free up the parking lot to the south of the Chester Fritz. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware that that is a solution that is in the works.
Great, thank you so much. And again, there's the near term this year, there's the long term, and we also have the parking study that we're eager to hear the results on about how we manage the system overall. And it gets to some of the questions that you're asking about price differentials and limiting parking to freshman students. And then I did see a comment about Starcher Hall. Starcher was complicated because there was football practice going on early in the morning. There was construction under Columbia, which by my estimate, my wife and I counted the slots. I think we count, it was hard because some of the blockages, but it was between 75 and 80 spots that were blocked off because of construction. And as the construction has now, I think, moved away, that should free up some spots behind Starcher. So all of that we're watching very closely, and we want to make sure that we have good solutions for everybody on the campus. Melanie Linder's back on, but I was going to turn it over to the provost to answer a question about what was the reason for moving away from Starfish to Hawk Central, and when will the training for faculty happen? So Eric Link, over to you.
Thank you so much, President Armacost, and thanks for the great question. We're actually really excited about Hawk Central. This is a 3 almost years in the making and lots of study. But I'm going to hand the baton over to Dr. Plum, who has specific details about some of the opportunities that Hawk Central provides us and about some of the training that you can expect. Karen, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Link. Yes, great question. There are a number of reasons that we moved away from Starfish and are now using Hawk Central. The primary one has to do with the strategic plan and the ability to create individual advising for students. Starfish had a lot of limitations to the data that could be provided, how things were being shared across campus. So Hawk Central provides us with a lot of opportunities to be able to do that. Advisors started to use Hawk Central in January, so they've been using it for a semester and a summer session already. During the summer session, we opened it up to students and the rest of campus. We worked with a pilot group of faculty on the alerts and found some issues, some concerns there. So we're looking at reconfiguring the alerts so that they work well for our campus. So we won't be using the survey alerts during the fall semester. We'll start using those in the spring, but the general alerts are up and running. In terms of training, a faculty training module was sent out to all faculty. It's also available on our Hawk Central support website. If you go to und.edu/academic/hawk-central, there is a tab there for support and training. There's also the ability to request additional training if you're looking for a particular feature in there. All of our academic core advisors know the product really well, and we'll set up a training for a group of people or for individual people as it's needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Before we get to the next question, I wanted just to let everyone know we are transcribing all of the questions. So if you have additional questions regarding parking or other things that we're not able to get to today, we will be doing that. So you'll be able to refer to them later. There's also on the parking website a suggestion box. So if you have questions or suggestions regarding the parking, you can go to that website and let our team know about that. The next question, I'm going to pivot. It's going to go to President Armacost to kick us off. There's been a lot of work around repatriation the last two years. Can you give us an update on where we are now?
I'll give a couple quick remarks, and then we'll turn it over to our two co-chairs for repatriation activities on campus. But the work has been enduring. It's been a lot of hard work, both by the Repatriation Committee and our cultural resource management consultants called Dirt Divers, and then incredible partnership with leaders and representatives from tribal nations, not just across North Dakota, but across the entire region. There have been literally dozens of tribal representatives involved in this work. The great news is we're now at the point of having published inventory notices into the Federal Register. This means we've made public announcements that whether it's ancestors or items of cultural interest are ready to go back to tribal nations for repatriation. This comes on the heels of a major event that we had in May to bring tribes from the region together to talk about what was in the inventory and who would be the rightful claimant to bring ancestors or cultural items back to their native lands. So this is exciting for us. Let me pull up first Lane Lyons, who has served as one of our co-chairs for the Repatriation Committee, to share a bit more. Lane.
Thanks, President Armacost. Yes, it's kind of the moment we've all been waiting for. It's been 2 years and it's felt like a long time, but we are at the point as a university where we are able to now start getting ancestors and belongings and other items home. If you would like to see the actual notices of inventory that we sent in, I suggest you go to the repatriation website. There's been several updates since May of the things that we've been doing over the summertime. There is a letter towards the bottom of, under UND statements, towards the bottom of that website that we actually sent out to UND community in, I think it was July, towards the end of July. So if you'd like to see what was sent, that's there too, but it's a good feeling to be where we are. I know it has felt like a long time, but starting where we started, we have come a long, long way in the past 2 months. I don't know if Crystal Alberts, my other co-chair, would like to add anything, but that's what I have to say.
I'm not sure that my camera is actually working, so hopefully you can hear me. And I'll just say very briefly, there's a lot of legal terminology and it's all on the website. We tried to do our best to answer those questions, but if we miss something, you don't know what it means, you would like us to explain, there's an email address on there. Please contact us, ask the questions, and we're happy to explain or fill in. Just contact Lane or I, and we'll do our best. And also, we're not done. We have good news and we're making a lot of progress, but we're not finished. So we'll continue to work until everyone and everything who should be home goes home. And that's all I'll have to say for now.
Thank you, Crystal and Lane. Your extraordinary leadership has led us to this point. I know you have an amazing committee that's working alongside you. And in addition to the repatriation work that's happening here, it dovetails with work that's happening with federal partners like the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and also the North Dakota State Historical Society. And so the partnerships have been important, but the primary partnership that's been of value to us that's led to this success is that which has happened with all of our tribal nation partners. And we're just grateful for them. And of course, deeply apologetic for where we have found ourselves.
And I just might add to that, that we are updating our repatriation website regularly. So if you have questions or want even more information than was shared during the town hall, please check out that repatriation website. Our next question is going to go to our Associate Vice President for HR, Peggy Varberg. Peggy, they said you mentioned supervisors would be receiving training for employees, and they're wondering if that would include new staff supervisors as well. Is there any more information you can provide people?
Yes, I did answer in the chat, but happy to expand on that. We want to roll out this fall a good training for supervisors, current supervisors, people considering to become a supervisor, those kinds of things. Specific right now to compensation. And not only the processes and how we got to where we are and what it looks like now, but also how you can have conversations with the people that you're responsible for, with your direct reports about their salary, about why they are where they are. Just really learn to have purposeful conversations about salary in general. Additionally, we will want to roll out 1 or 2 more supervisor trainings this fall we're still choosing topics, if you will, and developing those. But that's part of our goal for the next year, is to roll more supervisor training and development out to our good folks here on campus. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Peggy. That was the last of our questions. So I'm going to turn it back over to President Armacost. President Armacost, anything you'd like to say as we close out our time together?
A couple of quick things. Thanks to everybody on the panel who has joined. Thanks for your well-prepared answers and also your on-the-spot answers. Our goal is to listen here and make better decisions on behalf of all of the faculty members, staff members, and students on our campus. So thank you for participating, to the 296 who are still out there. Just 2 quick things that you'll hear about soon. One is there's been our chief of police and others within our public safety office have noticed a rash of people flaunting the smoking policy on campus. And for the health and safety of the campus, we have designated UND and its buildings a smoke-free environment. So no smoking, no vaping. There are some exceptions for traditional ceremonial uses like Native American special sweetgrass and other such plants. But we've noticed a bunch of people smoking cigarettes in places where they shouldn't be. And I just call on all supervisors, actually for the members of our campus themselves, to please refrain. Again, it's in the health and safety of the campus. Refrain from smoking in those areas on the campus. And when we ask you to not do that, please refrain from doing it. So thank you there. In addition, in probably more important ways, let's keep looking out for the well-being of one another. And whether it's building new connections and making new friendships across the campus, whether it's looking out for one's well-being and just making sure with check-ins, just checking in with your peers and your coworkers, make sure they're doing all right. Let's make sure that our well-being and our friendships are at the front of our daily actions. And so take the time to work with one another, to check in on one another, make sure that we're doing okay. Behavioral health issues are a real concern on our campus. We know that. And we want to make sure that you get the professional support, but also the warm embrace of your peers and colleagues on a daily basis. So let's make UND that campus where we come together and look out for one another. And with that, let me end and say thank you for an amazing start to the beginning of the semester. Let's, of course, keep up the momentum and the energy and the support to one another. Keep those great questions coming. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you soon.